Hi and welcome to another 5-minute session, and this time about the node called ObjectInfo, and that gives information about an object. And I have in the front here the same material on all these balls, and if I go to the material properties you can see it's called generic. The balls in the back have different materials, so this one is called ball 1, this is ball 2, ball 3 and ball 4. We start with the balls in the front and show what ObjectInfo can do, and then I take these in the end of the session. So first of all we have the location. The location is just measuring the center of each object, so you don't get different values on the outside of the object or something like that. One value out, and that is the location that is placed in the center of the object. And it's like in word space, so you get a brighter value here and you get a darker value here, and if I move that one it will be brighter here, and then it goes back here because that is negative values on this side. If I select color, then I get different colors here. And why is that? Well, most of the information in ObjectInfo you can change in the object properties here. So when it comes to the color, that is simply, if I go down to the viewport display color here. So for this one I have selected green, for this yellow, for this one red, and for this one blue. And it just reads what you have put in the viewport. Output will then be the color. Next is alpha, and that is exactly the same thing because we use the color here, but this is black now, and we can see that alpha is 0 on that one. So then we get this transparency value out, which is 0 on alpha. This is like gray, that is because I put the alpha on the color to something like 0.5, and this is almost white, and that is because I set alpha to about 7.3, and the last one is white because I put alpha to 1. So it's reading the alpha from the color. The object index, you have also information from the object properties, and you can see that we have black here and then we have 3 white here. And the object index is the same as pass index. So in the object properties, if you go to relations, you will find pass index. And you can see on the first one I put 0, next 1, next 2, and next 3. So what I can do is that I can do a division here, so we can get a value between 0 and 4, for instance, or 0 and 3. So we can do a simple math. So Shift A, convert the math, put that in, divide by 4 balls, and then I can use this color ramp that I did before. Just plug that into the factor and get it out, and then I get the different values from the color ramp, because now since I divided it's now between 0 and 1. So then we get red for this pass index, then we get green, then we get blue, and then we get yellow in the end. So that is object index. When you use with random, then it's always between 0 and 1, even if we are using like 10 different pass index, because it doesn't have anything to do with pass index. It's just a random value for each object. So then I put that in, you can see we get some different values from this, and that is totally random. So what is this thing in the back? That is the material index. And material index can be a bit complex to understand, because why should we use a material index when we are using a material here? It should always be the same. Well, a material index is good to have if you have done a group of a node group, because then you can reuse the node group in different materials and change the information depending on what type of material you're using. So let me explain that by just showing you the materials. So here I have the materials. Let me go up and select that one. Then we have ball 1, it looks like this. Next material, exactly the same. this looks exactly the same. This looks exactly the same. It's the same materials nodes, but we get different output because in the material index texture we send in material index, and here I check in my material index what type of index it is, and if the index is 0 I will change it to checker texture. If it's 1 then I will change it to magic texture. If the material index is 2 it will be the wave texture, and if it's 3 it will be the Voronoi texture. And I put those properties, it's still parse index, but it's not in the object properties, it is in the material properties. So here you can see under settings I have parse index. So for the first one we have parse index 0, for the next one we have parse index 1, then we have parse index 2, and this parse index 3. And that is how you use material index. So when you use different type of materials but you perhaps use the same group, then you can change the output depending on what material index you put on your specific material that you're using. So now you have some understanding about the ObjectInfo as well, and I have used more than 5 minutes, sorry, but hopefully you learned something, and I say bye for now and see you tomorrow.